Who voted right? Who chose the third one? Yes. What do you remember from this discussion on Brussels? What happened? And before building this, what happened? You had to get rid of the whole neighborhood. So that's the drama. So, but the important shift after from 50s in Brussels is that it was a kind of quite provincial city, was the capital of a country, but suddenly got this important role as the capital city of Europe, NATO. There was the World Exhibition in 1958. So it really changed the status of the city, and there were high ambitions to make it really the business center of Europe. And so a lot of destruction followed, and because there was in fact no acknowledgement of the value of the traditional fabric. So you see, this is a very nice picture of the North neighborhood, Noordwijk, where you see entire blocks being demolished. In the back you see these new high-rise buildings, office towers, that indeed were growing like mushrooms in the first years, and then the crisis hit, so it remained half empty for several decades. Now this whole business district is more or less functioning. It has in the meantime been built up, but the consequence is that there was a new appreciation of the traditional urban fabric. That these houses that looked very common, in fact, were quite special and unique, and that led to a number of reactions, including the Brussels Declaration in 1980. That leads us to the next question. So what was the main point of the Brussels Declaration in 1980? Was it to remove offices and reintroduce houses? Was it to reject functionalism and restore traditional mixed-use tissues? Or 3, was it to make room for the European institutions? Yes. In fact, maybe somehow we had to make room for European institutions. There's a whole, also what we call the European Quarter, which also used to be a mixed-use neighborhood that was completely destroyed to make room for offices. But yeah, the point of this was a reaction to this modernism office development process, to reject the functionalism and restore traditional mixed-use tissues. That's the correct answer. And this document by Léon Krier, who was one of the leading figures from Luxembourg, but he participated in this declaration. And this is one of the slides. It's really nicely showing how the Brussels Declaration in 1980 was a direct response to the Athens chapter of Le Corbusier from the Siam in 1947. So this is the bad example, the modernist city, in terms of how the different functions are separated. You have to commute between home and work, how the city in the modernist view was divided or named in terms of road, block, and zone. And they say we should talk about street, square, and neighborhoods. and we introduced this diversity of functions and a more traditional urban fabric. Yeah, in fact, it was very also nostalgic in the sense that the good city would be the city from the past. So it also had its own limitations. This group is still active today, ARO, so workshop for action, urban action and research. They would react to any new project still, and sometimes from a bit of a conservative viewpoint. But they did play an important role to stop this Brusselsization process that destroyed large parts of this. Yes, this is, you have to choose in which year these two books were published the same year, between 1945 and 2000. One is The Concise Townscape by Gordon Cullen, and the other is The Death and Life of Great American Cities. The answers are hidden. I will